Good evening. I am Miriam Abdul-Kawi, and here's what's ahead for you on 7 News tonight. Will Belize say bye-bye to the Cuban Medical Brigade? The U.S. Charge d'Affaires said the government has taken a decision to do just that. Today, the CEO for Foreign Affairs says he's not so sure. And tonight, we're digging deeper into those payments from the Ministry of Defense to Jenny Mira. Plus, the PSU president called out the Social Investment Fund. They say they have not awarded corrupt building contracts. He says, prove it, in a press conference. Also, another fatal motorcycle accident, this one in San Pedro, will show you what happened. These stories and much more are ahead on 7 News tonight, so please stay tuned.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
This is a fantastic program. The cabinet decided that we're going to plant 1 million trees because we have to do something. If you will recall, some years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, I think it was, we had this fire that damaged a lot of the pine ridge forest, and with the storms and so on. So we've lost some vegetation, and so the cabinet instructed that we have to plant back trees. We have to plant more trees. It's good for us. The CEOs got together and said, look, we want to get in on this program. And so we want to plant as many of these 1 million trees as we can. Hopefully it will set a good example.
The CEOs recognize that the children are the future of our country, and if it is that we intend to plant 1 million trees, it's not only us that can do it at the government. It's the future that would have that task. So I think it was very important that they recognize that and that they have bought into the idea. We need to reach out to the children.
Those trees, we planted those trees back in 2006. It's a beauty to see those, how big those trees now, 20 years now, you know. From a little kid, you love to plant, man, you growing up with that mentality. Oh, I used to plant stuff when I was small, and so, hard, 20 years later, I see all planting tree, I ask the young man and the young lady, like, what kind of tree you all planting? And they say like all different type of trees.
And I appeal to everybody who will hear this. Plant a tree.
Hi, I'm Ava.
And I'm Aiden. We're your AI guides to all things NHI.
In this video, we will guide you on how to become an NHI member. You, and if you have a child, must have a Social Security card. To get an SSB card is easy. Visit socialsecurity.org.bz/card-replacement to view the required documents that are needed.
There is a fee of only $5 Belize for a first-time issue and $26 Belize for a replacement card. Newborns can use their mother's SSB card for up to 2 months.
With your SSB card, you and all family members can register at any NHI contracted clinic of your choice.
You and members of your family can now access health care when needed.
Please note that once you are registered with a clinic, you must go to that same clinic when you need medical care. Look out for more NHI guides like this.
The next station is not just a place, it's the vacation capital of the world, the Mexican Caribbean. Do you know why we are the capital of vacations? Because no other place on earth brings together so many ways to vacation in one single destination. From rest to adventure. From nature to culture. From luxury to freedom. Every vacation imaginable, except snow, and we plan to keep it that way. Mexican Caribbean, the vacation capital.
As a small business, I started to attend pop-up shops like many other businesses, and we found that our customers wanted to pay by card and not cash. I went to Atlantic Bank, and immediately, without a problem, it's like, yes, you can have a POS system. That POS system we now use in-house, and we can also take it countrywide wherever we are. They were willing to take the time. They were willing to be patient with us as we grew our business. And that, for us, that meant the world.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
As promised, the bridge linking the twin towns of San Ignacio and Santa Elena to 6 vibrant communities in Cayo Northeast is nearing completion. And as promised, the MIDH has done it using the refurbished Haulover Bridge, which once stood over the Haulover Creek and now graces the McCall River. We believe in providing meaningful links and infrastructure which immediately benefits communities, and we believe in value for every dollar spent. This bridge is an investment which will keep on giving for many years to come.
Personally, that bridge got me excited because it comes with a lot of benefits. You know, the first and foremost is that it reduces transportation time, you know, by 15 to 20 minutes. Depends by, you know, we don't want nobody to rush by the bridge, but it definitely, some people are in a 5 or a little bit more minutes, they're gonna reach Santa Elena. So if you, let's say, if you have an emergency, you know, per se, you are rush somebody that Lomalos, that bridge just perfect.
I think that is a great privilege for us that the government is giving us. I believe that it benefits to many of us here in the community. First of all, to our teachers that they travel to come all the way, maybe from Cayo, Santa Elena. It's a more closer way for them to transport to school.
This is a blessing for the whole, well, not just for Santa Familia, but for whole Cayo district. This is going to help us a lot. It's going to bring more people. It's going to be more accessible for people to get to Santa Familia. People that, a lot of people don't know where Santa Familia is located. So I've been talking to a lot of people, they know where. They just go see it on the map, but they don't know exactly. It's going to be very convenient for us.
I am a diabetic. I have an access to my medication every 3 months, and I have my analysis. And like how I am more or less an elderly, I receive my medication free. It helps us a lot. It helps us economically. It's a place that's accessible for almost every village that is registered here. And it's good because we have the elderly, that we can travel with them here and there. Well, we have it here. The doctors are willingly, ready, friendly. The staff itself then, they're friendly and they attend to you readily. And we don't have to be waiting and waiting. It's a really good thing that has done. It had been always been said that NHI, but then thanks God it come to Orange Walk. I think that Elderly government is a good thing that they did. They thought about people that really are in need.
The roads of Belize connect us all. Riders, drivers, families, friends. Every day begins with a little routine and the confidence that life's journeys are protected. From school drop-off through the daily grind and everything in between, each with different roads ahead, yet one common goal: to arrive safely. Atlantic Insurance stands with Belize's riders and motorists with affordable protection, support, and peace of mind for the journey ahead. For the roads we share and the lives we protect, Atlantic Insurance is by your side, insuring you from life's unexpected. Atlantic Insurance, insuring you from life's unexpected.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
We begin our newscast, that is, with one of our top stories this night, where last night on the news, the U.S. Embassy's most senior diplomat in Belize, the Charge d'Affaires Catherine Beamer, dropped a bombshell. She said the government had taken a decision to wind down the Cuban Medical Brigade here in Belize. But there has been no public announcement in Belize of any decision being taken. So what gives? Well, we asked the CEO in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Oscar Arnold, about it today, and he took a diplomatic distance from the charges position. Here's more.
I believe that both Prime Minister Besenio and Foreign Minister Fonseca, prior to his medical leave, spoke extensively on this issue. I believe Prime Minister gave indications that we are looking at the program. The Charge d'Affaires didn't mince word when she says that they are committed to try to, well, not to try to, but they are committed to encouraging all the countries in this hemisphere to cease and desist with that program. And I believe that the government of Belize, through the Prime Minister's office, has indicated that we will look at the program. I believe a few months ago, prior to my time here as CEO, Cabinet has instructed both the Foreign Affairs Ministry as well as the Ministry of Health to look at options, to try to put proposals on the table that can be discussed and then move it from there. And I believe that those proposals, looking at those proposals, are looking for other solutions, will be coming to our end shortly, and it will have to revert back to Cabinet to make a decision and then to inform the Belizean public. We know that at every instance, the government of Belize, again through the Prime Minister, through the Foreign Minister, has stated that this program provides much needed technicians, much needed doctors. And so whatever decision is made, something will have to be in place to ensure that there is not a big vacuum or that there is not a big void that remains in our medical system.
Okay, but I hear you. However, what you are saying is that, Cabinet will make a final decision. But what the Charge was saying is that the decision has been made. Is she wrong in saying that?
From what I won't comment on whether she's wrong or right, but what I read from the comment and the stuff that were sent to me was that she's saying that they would support the decision of the wind down. I didn't see that she said there that it was coming to an end or an abrupt end.
Okay, well, she said we are supportive of the government's decision to wind down, meaning that the government, or the meaning I take is that the government has made such a decision to wind down.
I believe when that decision is made, Jules, that the Prime Minister's office and the Cabinet will have to inform the Belizean people. And the highest decision-making group in the country is the Cabinet.
And the Cabinet has not so decided?
From the information that I have, no.
Tonight, we continue our investigation into the Smart Stream leak of 497 payments from primarily the Ministry of Defense to fruit and vegetables vendor Jenny Mira between 2020 and 2025. Mira is the sister of the former Minister of State for Defense, Oscar Mira, so the records bear scrutiny. And if all the payments were for above-board purchases, it's curious why 99% of Jenny Mira's 497 invoices fall just below the $10,000 threshold for reporting to the Ministry of Finance. Instead, they were made as straight payments directly from the ministry without need for approval or oversight. In his continuing review of the 47 screenshots with those hundreds of invoice entries, Jules Vasquez found a curious anomaly. Here's his story on it.
It's called a ghost dot, an extra dot at the end of an invoice number that allows it to be entered twice into a computer system, which does not allow duplicate entries. Across the 497 entries we reviewed, we saw it appear exactly 4 times. In each case, it was used to clone an existing invoice number so the operator could push through a duplicated payout. They first did it in 2021 with a fairly modest figure, $5,025.75, a figure which we should note reappears 14 times across the entries we have seen. On May 4th, the invoice BDF 0105 2021 was entered for $5,025.75, and then right after, the same invoice, but trailing it with a single dot this time, was entered again for the same amount. So one invoice, 2 payments. Experts call it spoofing the system, and this CEO hadn't heard about it before. Are you aware of this practice of tricking the system? Or is it a practice of tricking the system? Have you seen it? What do you think of it? Would you like me to send you proof?
I would love for you to send me proof, especially if the proof is here in the ministry, because I'm not aware of those practices. But it's a funny thing. People find a way to trick the system, but I am not aware of that.
When he checked his staff, Usher told us, quote, "At that time, there were contracts awarded, and this invoice submitted by the business was indeed for $10,051.50. The financial officer at that time, who is no longer with the ministry, made the decision to split that invoice in 2, utilizing this period method that you highlighted. It is unclear why he made the decision to do so. But to the president of the PSU, it is only too clear."
It is clear that there was an attempt to avoid oversight by the Treasury Department. It is clear that there was an attempt to avoid any questions being asked about the legitimacy of that payment. It is clear that there was an attempt to facilitate what could have very well been a corrupt practice.
Tellingly, the same ghost dot trick was used in 2022. So it happened multiple times, proving that the ghost dot was a reliable tool to override the system.
They're trying to avoid that they breached the procurement process or the tendering process, whereby ensuring that the evidence would show that whatever goods and services we purchase in the public service or that we secure is done above board. The reason why the Auditor General report is saying that she can't even give an opinion because there is no documentation is exactly because of this kind of practice, Jules. They're paying without having any documentation. They're paying based on instructions. And at the end of the day, there is no proof.
And another under-the-radar technique is the system of invoice splitting, where one invoice priced at over $10,000 is canceled, and then 2 days later, 2 new ones are issued that add up to the same amount, but under the $10,000 threshold. It happened in April of 2025 under Usher's watch, when an invoice for $18,109.27 was canceled. Exactly 48 hours later, on April 24th, it is split into 2 approved payments of $9,270.77 and $8,838.49, the original figure right down to a single penny. Isn't this a clear suggestion of fraud and gaming the system to escape oversight?
So I'll look into that particular invoice and I'll send you a message about it. But at surface level, I can definitely see why that would be the assumption. Fraud is a heavy word. I don't know the details surrounding that one, but I'll find out.
Usher told us today, quote, that particular invoice was submitted to us and the account staff to process it when the vendor reached out saying they needed to review and potentially would need to edit. That's why it was cancelled. There were then several invoices submitted a few days later. So, two separate payments, one identical total, either a wild coincidence or what the data shows, a systematic, well honed strategy to avoid Treasury oversight. When you see a pattern of behavior like this, or a pattern of payouts like this, what does it say to you?
It is saying to me that while some of those purchases may be legitimate, some may very well not be, and more importantly, the procurement process, the procurement guidelines would have been violated, the tendering process. Because if I am doing everything above board, there is no need for me to engage in those kind of practices.
As you've seen, Jenny Mira's payment data shows a system that may have been adapted to accommodate proximity to power while shielding both the vendor and possibly her brother from the scrutiny outside his Ministry of Defense. But we don't have the entire picture. The Smart Stream screen shows that we're still short of 410 records. We asked the CEO about this in detail.
There are, according to what I have seen on the screenshots, 898 entries for Jenny Mira. I have 497 via screenshots. Would you agree to share the screenshots of the other 401 or share the information regarding the vendor, Jenny Mira, of the other 401 entries in the system so that we can make our own forensic journalism review?
So on record, I have no issue sharing it, but I would need to check with the legal counsel because there's another interested party that might be affected. And that last thing I would want is for them to say, I sent it out and for them to sue me. So let me check with legal counsel, but I personally don't have any issues sharing it.
We'll keep following this story and bring you updates as it develops. And in related news, the Belize Social Investment Fund is responding to John Saldivar's allegation that they have been awarding questionable contracts to Fast Construction, which is associated with Oscar Mira's family. In their press release, they rejected any suggestion of favoritism, improper influence, or preferential treatment. They explained that, quote, all procurement activities are conducted under stringent procurement, fiduciary financial management and auditing and oversight frameworks established by these institutions and are subject to multiple layers of review and accountability, end quote. They added that contract awards are based on responsiveness and value for money considerations rather than bidder identity and claim that awards have been distributed among a diverse pool of contractors. Well, today, the PSU president said that if that's the case, show us the proof, bring the receipts and the tenders, and let the public decide for themselves. He spoke with us via Zoom. Here's more.
But I would have seen that bogus, if not comical, press release from SIF. I mean, if you want to come clean with the Belizean people, Mr. CEO in SIF, Ms. CEO in the Ministry of Finance, you hold a press conference and you present the tender documents for Fast Construction and you show the Belizean people whereby they have gotten those contracts because they provide good work, and in most cases that the bidding process was competitive. What I can say to you all, you have lied to the Belizean people with that press conference. You all know that the tendering process is corrupt. It is corrupt. And I can tell you that it is no secret. You all at SIF are paying for cements that cost $70 a sack and in some cases $100. And if you don't, and if you want to prove me wrong, then call one press conference and bring the tender documents to the public so that we could scrutinize it and look at it. Bring it out for the past 5 years. Stop taking the Belizean people for a bunch of fools.
And stay tuned. When we come back, we'll tell you about 2 missing persons in the Stone Creek district. And we asked Minister Julius Espat how he feels about the cyberbullying charges. Stay tuned for more news.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
El evento de fútbol más grande del mundo por fin llegó y Smart te invita a vivir toda la emoción del mundial. Antes de que empiece cada partido, predice quién se lleva la victoria. Entre más predicciones hagas, más oportunidades acumulas. Suma un punto cuando le aciertes al equipo ganador y si le atinas al marcador exacto, obtienes hasta 4 puntos. La persona con más puntos al terminar el mundial se lleva $2,500 en efectivo. Y eso no es todo. También habrá premios semanales durante toda la competencia. Además, el líder de los cuartos de final se lleva un paquete completo para armar su Watch Party. Participa directamente desde la app de Smart por solo 50 centavos por participación. Las predicciones estarán disponibles del 1 de junio al 18 de julio del 2026. No solo veas el mundial, vívelo con Smart. Smart, bring people together.
We're here to commemorate the start of the construction of a STEAM pavilion.
It will be a place where students will be able to explore engineering, science, technology, arts, mathematics. A place where curiosity is encouraged, where ideas are truly put to the test.
This pavilion will feature state-of-the-art learning zones, including a fully equipped science laboratory for real-world experimentation, a modern recording studio to unleash creative and digital expression, an innovative maker space to encourage invention and prototyping, a collaborative learning street designed to foster spontaneous discussion and teamwork. Dedicated storage rooms, of course, we have quite a bit to do, so where will we put it? And facilities integrated with mechanical and electrical rooms to seamlessly support operations.
This new addition to our school will create more opportunities for us to conduct more experiments and those fun stuff like that.
I believe that this team project will help students to be able to put their skills to the test.
I am excited for this opportunity and I'm pretty sure that it will benefit my colleagues and also myself.
These STEAM pavilions are an expansion from our investment that we made through the ITSAT STEAM Academy in Belize City. These pavilions will be expanded, one in each district across the country, and this is just the beginning.
If you're tired of the baking in your house with daily kugo wafan.
Nando's Wholesale is the distributor for the full line of Badia spices, including the original complete seasoning, the perfect combination of ingredients and spices prepared to enhance the natural flavor of your favorite foods. Also, cinnamon powder for all your desserts, fruits, and beverages, and as special dishes. All these are available in commercial sizes or restaurant packaging. Nando's products are available at your local retailer or contact us at 222-5000. From Corozal to Toledo, Nando's is proud to be serving Belize as its #1 wholesale distributor for over 35 years.
Let's all be safe during the rainy season. Belize Electricity Limited reminds you that heavy rains can cause flooding in your neighborhood and on roads. Avoid driving or walking in flooded areas, which can have hidden dangers such as debris and fallen power lines. Belize Electricity Limited cares about your safety. Please stay safe.
Maria's was planned to open in 2020, and that's when COVID came. I thought the dream was dead. People would come to my house, they would purchase the coffees from there. That gave me the little confidence, like, okay, I could do this. Atlantic Bank, of course, helped me take the next step. Once I had their support, it was smooth sailing from there. This business is my life. It's literally what provides my family with food and employment. I employ 3 family members, so it's really everything for us.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
The biggest tournament requires the ultimate streaming experience with NextGen TV. Win with NextGen. Pay your bill or sign up for a NextGen bundle plan for a chance to win a 43, 55, or up to 65-inch smart TV bundle, a brand new soundbar, and many more prizes. Get ready to witness football history being made with NextGen. Not a NextGen TV subscriber yet? Contact us to subscribe today. NextGen TV, your stadium at home.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7. Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
We continue our newscast with a missing persons story where tonight 26-year-old Pomona resident Valene Baide and her 7-year-old son Michael Acosta Jr. are missing. They were last seen on Wednesday, June 10th, and the family fears the worst as their home was left ransacked and her phone was left behind. Several search parties combed nearby Pomona but turned up no leads. We spoke with the sister Marissa Baide, who says they are worried.
Because of the tremendous rains that we were experiencing, she lived in an area where the yard usually gets flooded. So my parents were concerned about her, and they were calling and calling and calling, and they, to no avail. She didn't respond, and so my dad decided to go and look for her, which then he discovered that the front door was opened, and so when he went inside, he found her nowhere to be seen. Well, my sister and her and my little nephew. We're not people who, go around stirring up problems with people with, and then we're well known in the community for, well, I guess for helping people out. So no one comes to mind to say that would harm her. She lives with somebody, but at the moment he wasn't at home. His brother was recently involved in the shooting that happened in Pomona a few weeks back, and the guy just came in from surgery and he wanted to go and spend some time with his brother, so he wasn't at home during that time.
So you're saying that she was the only one at home?
She was the only one at home. Everything is new to us, which was alarming to us when we found her not being inside her house, and her cell phone was found inside the house. And I think if she would have gone somewhere, probably she would have said it, because we just don't pick up and go in the middle of the night.
Anyone with information on the duo's whereabouts can contact 613-0695. That's 613-0695. Meanwhile, a mother also from the South is requesting the public's assistance in locating her son. The family of 30-year-old Mullins River resident Richard Sherrington has not seen or heard from him since the 21st of May. They are starting to worry about him. Sherrington, who suffers with a mental illness, was getting help in Belmopan, but he left the facility. The family is concerned as they are fearing the worst. Here's more.
My son gone missing from the 21st, I mean to be exact. We hear different things. People say they decide and dead aside, but when we contact them, so no coming to find out, so I don't know what to say. The last place we stand around the church, we stand up by the church, and then we send for the police them if we can assist people, can we get onto the hospital, and from then we don't know where we get to. We never did say anymore.
He has any medical condition?
Yeah, he have a mental thing now. I'm in the hospital, I've been my pan for like 3 weeks. Okay. So a month and changes before me discharge. He left from home on the 21st. That's what the last we say, no? And then up to now, we only hear people saying me stand out a whole creek. Some say me did a roaring creek, but anytime we go and we ask questions, so nothing to lead, no? 3 weeks to be exact yesterday.
Anyone knowing his whereabouts can contact 667-8241. That's 667-8241. Meanwhile, in other news, he's been the target of multiple attempts on his life in Belize, but things changed for Benigno Mouse Loria when he fled to the United States in 2023. Well, the Corozal resident returned to Belize as a deportee today. The flight landed at the Philip Goldson International Airport this afternoon, where he was processed along with others and released. Loria was picked up by ICE in February and posted on their official X page as a cartel affiliate. His mother later denied that cartel affiliation. And in police news now, police are investigating a fatal traffic accident that claimed the life of a San Pedro resident, 33-year-old Gilberto Noble, and left 23-year-old Vincent Canum with injuries. The collision occurred shortly after 10:30 p.m. last night on Pescador Drive in downtown San Pedro. According to police, Canul and Noble were traveling south on a motorcycle when they approached the area near Atlantic Bank. Investigators say Canul attempted to overtake a golf cart, but the golf cart reportedly made a sudden, slight left turn, causing the motorcycle to collide with its front left fender. The impact threw both men from the motorcycle. Police found Noble with extensive head injuries, and he was later pronounced dead. Canul was treated at the Dr. Otto Rodriguez San Pedro Polyclinic before being transferred to the Carl Huschna Memorial Hospital here in Belize City for further medical attention. Meanwhile, many of us at one point or the other have needed JP services, but very few know that it is illegal for these justices of the peace to even request a payment for their service. President of the Association of JPs, Danny Madrid, told us how they are trying to put a stop to it. Here's more.
Problem is that it's not only the JP that is the problem, because as you know, we have over 3,000 JPs in this country, and our records, the association records, shows there's only like 1,000 JPs who are registered and actually doing the work. Now, those JPs who have been appointed and out there doing nothing, those are the ones that put a bad name on us. If you go to Belmopan, I go to Belmopan and in front of the immigration department, they're right there standing, and what's being done to them? Nothing. The only way you can take away a JP title is by bankruptcy right now. But we are trying to fight and trying to find ways how you will lose it, because there's so much JPs out there that they don't. We're just talking about the act. So many JPs don't even read the act. They don't read the bylaws. They don't know their duties. They just get appointed and that's it. They're JP and big deal. And they only use it when they need to use it. So we are trying our best to try to change it.
And on another note, yesterday we reported that senior JPs will now be the intermediaries between victims of abuse and the law when courts are closed. But a concern raised by the president was that victims might rescind their reports after making them. Well, we spoke to the Minister of Human Development, Thea Ramirez Garcia, who explained that when a first-time abuse victim takes back their report, they expect that, but they continue encouraging them, that is, to make the report until someday it sticks.
If you are working with men and women, because we don't just see women who are survivors of domestic violence, but men also, you expect that this is going to happen. On average, it takes a person, a survivor, 8 times trying to leave a difficult situation before they finally make it. A lot of people don't make it out alive. So what would I say? I would say keep trying. Keep trying. If it takes you 20 times before you break out of a situation, then we keep trying 20 times with you. Of course, it might be a lot of paperwork for the person on the other end taking the reports, but that's their job. And they're paid to do their job as police officers. Officers of the family support and gender affairs are paid to do their job. Social workers are paid to do their job. And so we are here for you as many times as you put in the report and you take it back. That shouldn't even be a question. That should have no bearing on it. So if it takes 100 times and you pull back 99 times, we wait until the report sticks and you are able and ready to face the situation. And we're here to support everyone that does that.
And turning now to that story about cyberbullying. When the pavement on the coastal highway started to unravel yesterday, the Ministry of Infrastructure Development faced harsh criticism ranging from incompetence to corruption for the social media cesspool. That's the daily discourse. But the faint-hearted might call it cyberbullying. We asked the minister for his take on that. Here's his response.
But with social media, it becomes fun, I suppose. and we have to deal with it. We're not running away.
Would you consider bringing cyberbullying charges against those people who are so vehemently criticizing you? No doubt unfairly.
I've been in this thing going for 20 years now. I've never brought a charge against anyone. And if you look at history, I've been attacked more than most, while in opposition, while in government. I'm still doing fine. I'm still strong. I believe that the criticism helps me. I believe that if you can withstand those blows that come to you and still willing to give your life to service, I think it's positive, because we are human beings, and if we are not criticized, then we start believe, whoa, lots of things. And that's where I believe we can get into problems. When I can't handle it anymore, which might be a long time from now, Then you go home and you out the TV and you out the WhatsApp and you stop watch social media and you relax. That time is not there yet. But I have no problem with it. I've never had, Jules, you could look at the way back. You get back once in a while and 2 seconds and you cool down back. You are the best man for answer your own self that question because you have dealt with it too.
And now we have a story about the Occupational and Safety Health Bill. With the long-delayed Occupational Safety and Health Bill, one sticking point raised by the opposition is that the proposed law does not cover domestic workers. Well, yesterday, the Attorney General explained the government's position in detail.
We're not saying that domestic workers that should not be afforded protection, but given the regime that would be created under the OSH bill, it poses some difficulties. So, for instance, you, Marisol, if you engage a domestic worker, then you would be subject to the same level of scrutiny and the same level of responsibility as anyone, including a prominent business establishment. And the reality is that it may be difficult for someone to be able to an ordinary person who hires a domestic to be able to do that. So those are things. So that's a policy rationale why the government, and it's not based solely on the government's own decision making. This is a considered approach, a considered position rather, taken after much deliberation.
And we take a break now, but when we come back, for years, NGOs have audited Belize's oceans, but now the fishers are auditing the system. We'll take you inside a historic new report from local fishing associations. But will the government listen? We'll have that story and much more when we return. Stay tuned for more news.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
If you're tired of the baking in your house with the only cook go wawa fan and finally realize that the time to get yourself a good, durable, reliable fan, contact Myers panel website or social media. Myers going to hook you up with one of their 18-inch heavy-duty tripod fan where might could even change your life as they keep you cool in this hot Belizean weather. Yes man, because their 18-inch heavy-duty tripod fan from Myers not just could blow your lip back way, they might could blow away your mind if you say blow away the toxic konomono out of your life and the bad vibes out of your house. Order your 18-inch heavy-duty tripod fan from Myers website or on their social media, and Myers going to ship out your fan anywhere countrywide ASAP. Not believe me? Visit myerselectronics.bz right now to order your fan today.
People don't travel with cash anymore. People would stop and they want to do a coffee tour, they want to buy coffee, but people don't have cash with them. Online banking facilitated a lot of what we do. I don't have to run to town and I have to use fuel and other expenses. Atlantic Bank actually approached us. They facilitated us with a bank account, which is something that we didn't have in hand, and then with a POS machine. I sit and sip my good cup of coffee and do payments.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Wake up to positivity and inspiration. It's a fresh and diverse twist on your mornings. Tune in to Sun Up on 7 every weekday morning at 6:30 a.m. right here on your Nation Station, Channel 7. It's the morning show you don't want to miss.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
And we continue our newscast with a story of the Prime Minister's travels. You might call it a working vacation. The Prime Minister left the country last Friday for Madrid, Spain, with his family, but also put on his Minister of Civil Aviation hat to stop in at COSESNA meeting. No announcement was made of his departure, but a release today says the Prime Minister attended a meeting of the Board of Directors of the Central American Air Navigation Services Corporation in Madrid, Spain, earlier this week. The board was in Madrid basically for a radar show. And the release says they also held discussions with the consultants working on the integration of aeronautical systems for the member countries of COSESNA. Prime Minister Briceño was accompanied by Narda Garcia, the Chief Executive Officer in the Ministry of Civil Aviation, and both serve on the board of COSESNA on behalf of Belize. Meanwhile, 22 fishers associations across the country have collaborated to create and publish the first ever Belize Fishers Audit. It's a document that brings fishers and their concerns to the forefront with recommendations on how to improve the industry. Rather than wait for a consultation, these associations took matters into their own hands and presented that audit today. Our very own Courtney Menzies was there and has this story.
For the first time in Belizean history, the fishers of the country have taken the extra step and published their very own audit. Unlike previous audits published by NGOs and conservation groups, this one is by the fishers for the fishers. As they explained, it focuses on the issues they are directly facing.
The audit was designed around priorities identified by fishers themselves or ourselves and reflects our experiences, our concerns, and aspirations for the future in the fishing sector. The fishing audit was developed as a way for fishers to assess the issues that matters most to us and to evaluate progress on those issues over time. The indicators used in this audit were identified and validated by fishermen through consultations and discussions. And this is not only about identifying problems, providing evidence, encouraging dialogue and action, and where we support solutions, but we present recommendations as well in this audit report. We see this as a tool for accountability, transparency, and continued improvement in this sector. But most importantly, this is a process that demonstrates that fishers want to be an active partner in shaping the future of our fishing industry.
And at their press conference today, they explain what sort of issues can be found in the audit, including lack of transparency, overfishing, and the social impacts of policies.
Fishers continue to face concern relating to governance, representation, enforcement, economic opportunities, access to information, and participation in the decision making. The findings highlight issues that have been raised by fishermen for many years and provide a structured assessment of where attention is needed.
Now there is friction among fishermen to who have lobster trap, to territory dispute. There is life-threatening gun pointing. So this is basically the problems that's happening down south. The overexploiting in our sea is very, very serious. If there is opportunities for these fishers not to get strictly on fishing, do an alternative thing like get involved in ecotourism or any aquaculture thing, I, as a leader, I'm willing to work with my fishers and look for them and try to make a change rather than just impacting the sea as it is. Now, to the cause of lobster and conchs. I guess I don't know who's supposed to look out for the benefit of fishermen for we to get a fair price. I guess that is supposed to be for fisheries department.
One of the things that a lot of these policymakers has not looked at is the social impact of conservation on coastal fishing community. You know, nobody has thought about how different policies that they make affect this community, how the fishermen make their money. Every time we have certain policies made, it's our livelihood that is being taken away from us. You know, we're not trying to stop conservation. We want to work. Of course, we want to continue be fishermen. We want to pass that on to our kids. But it has a social impact on our community. As the fishing community throughout this Belize, south and north, the length and breadth of this country, we have been disrespected. Over and over, we have been disrespected.
And perhaps one of their biggest concerns is that of the Blue Bond and the initiative to preserve 30% of marine space by 2030. While they say they agree with the concept, they believe they're not being properly consulted and as such can be negatively impacted.
I want to say that the fishermen, those who are here represented by some members of their respective associations, feel that if we are going in that direction, then we ought to be an active partner and have an active role around the table where discussions and policies are discussed. Why? Because anything that has to do with our ocean space impacts the life of almost 3,500 fishermen, and by extent over 20,000 people who depend on this industry directly.
And now with this audit available for the public, this afternoon, the Fishers presented it to the Fisheries Department.
We know that we are meeting with the Fisheries Department at 2 o'clock this afternoon, where we will pitch this. We will officially present them with the recommendation. They have had an opportunity to see it electronically, but we will officially do the handing over to them this afternoon, and we will identify where we can work, collaborate as fishers. But the task is on our Belizeans. We need to be vigilant of the decision-making process. I know that there is a call from the fishermen to meet directly with the minister to see if there is the Minister of Fishery Responsibility with fishing, the fishing sector, to meet with us. And there is a commitment by the minister that he's happy to entertain us in a meeting, and we are looking forward for that, and that we will pitch these ideas to them.
Courtney Menzies, 7 News.
Meanwhile, today, the Labor Department celebrated its staff with its first award ceremony. The Labor Commissioner and the Minister explained that the tireless work of the staff across the country deserves recognition. Here's a snippet of that ceremony and their speeches.
Today's ceremony provides us with an opportunity to recognize those individuals and regions whose efforts have gone beyond and above in advancing the mission of the department. The awards being presented are not only a reflection of performance and results, but also of commitment, professionalism, teamwork, innovation, and service to the people. So as we celebrate our award recipients, I want to emphasize that every member of staff contributes to the success of the Labor Department. The achievements we have made during the past year, including strengthening of the labor administration, expanding employment services, advancing labor reforms, promoting workplace compliance, supporting social dialogue, assisting job seekers, would not have been possible without the collective efforts of all of you.
What stands out is the department's presence across the country. Labor officers are conducting education sessions that help workers and employers understand their rights and responsibilities. Staff members are engaging students through outreach activities that encourage awareness of labor rights and the importance of education. Officers are assisting job seekers, conducting inspections, resolving complaints, and providing guidance to members of the public who rely on these services. It warms my heart each time I see students being engaged and becoming familiar with the workforce and demands via the sessions conducted by our very own labor officers at schools and IT vets across the country. These efforts support a broader objective: strengthening labor administration, improving awareness of labor laws, and promoting decent work throughout the country.
And that's all we have for you on 7 News on this Friday night. Thank you so much for watching. I am Miriam Abdul-Kawi. You can find a full transcript of the news at 7newsbelize.com and see the streaming video on our Facebook or YouTube pages. Have a good night and a great weekend, and join us back here on Monday night. Have a great weekend, folks.